In previous video, I completed the basics required for this dynamics of machinery. Some of the topics, some more topics we'll discuss now in this video. So first one, principle of equilibrium. Okay, in this different principles are there. First one is two force principle. Okay, if a body is in equilibrium, is acted upon by two forces, then they must be equal, opposite and collinear. Okay, two forces are acting on any body. Their body is in equilibrium when only the two forces should be equal, opposite and collinear. Then only that body will be under equilibrium. Next one is three force principle. If a body is in equilibrium acted upon by three forces, okay, body is in equilibrium is acted upon by three forces, then the resultant of any two forces must be equal, opposite and collinear with third force. Any two forces resultant should be same with third force and equal, opposite, but same time it should be collinear. Okay, this is the third force principle. Next one is four force principle. If a body is in equilibrium is acted upon by four forces, then the resultant of any two forces must be equal, opposite and collinear with the resultant of the other two forces. Okay, any two forces resultant should be equal, opposite and collinear with the resultant of the other two forces. Now conditions for equilibrium: sigma h equal to 0, sigma v equal to 0 and sigma m equal to 0. That is, some of the horizontal forces should be 0, some of the vertical forces should be 0, some of the moment should be 0 about any point. Okay, this is are the conditions for equilibrium. Next, coming to the Lami's theorem. So if three coplanar forces are acting at a point in in equilibrium, three forces, coplanar forces, are acting at a point be in equilibrium, then each force is proportional to the sine of the angle between the other two. Okay. Now, three forces are acting, coplanar forces acting at a point, then the force can be calculated. Each force is proportional to the sine of the angle between the other two. That is, we can write P by sine alpha is equal to Q by sine beta, that equal to R by sine gamma. So this is the Lami's theorem. So PQR are the three forces, so which making angle alpha, beta, gamma are the included angle of. Okay, then we are writing P by sine alpha is equal to Q by sine beta, that equal to R by sine gamma. This is Lami's theorem. Next one is lever. Definition of the lever. A lever is a rigid bar, straight or curved. A lever is a rigid bar, straight or curved, and is hinged at one end. Okay, and is hinged at one end. It is free to rotate about the hinged end called fulcrum. A lever is a rigid bar, straight or curved, and is hinged at one end. It is free to rotate about the hinged end called fulcrum. Free to rotate about the hinged end is called as fulcrum. The hinged end is called as a fulcrum. The rigid bar is called as a lever. Okay. Friction. Next. Whenever one block moves or tends to move tangentially with respect to the surface on which it rests, the interlocking property of the projecting particles opposes the motion. This opposing force acts in opposite direction of motion is called force of friction or simply friction. So any two blocks are moving one over the other, so the surface will be having the in between the two surfaces, so there is some roughness will be there. That roughness causes to the because of interlocking property of the projecting particles. These projecting particles opposes the motion. That motion opposing force is called as friction, or simply you can call as friction force or force of friction or simply friction. Now simple harmonic motion, the to and fro motion of the n is called simple harmonic motion. From this figure we are observing, so this is the case we are observing figure. So the particle P is moving along a circular path. The projection of P n will be on the diameter yy. Okay, that will move along the yy. Okay, when the p is moving along a circular path, that n motion is called as simple harmonic motion, to and from motion of y to y dash, y to y dash to y, it is moving n. That motion is called as a simple harmonic motion. Okay, Newton's laws of motion. First law, every body continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is acted upon by some external force. So every body continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion. State of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is acted upon by some external force. So now second law, the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the impressed force. Okay, rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the impressed force and take place in the same direction in which the force acts. Okay, now that is F is directly proportional to ma. Now third law, so to every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. To every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. Next one is vibrations. So when elastic bodies such as spring, beam or shaft are displaced from the equilibrium position by the application of external forces and then released, they execute a vibratory motion. When elastic bodies such as spring, beam or shaft are displaced from the equilibrium position by the application of external forces and then released, they execute a vibratory motion. So that means whenever you are applying some force and it releases on elastic body, that will continue the motion. That motion is called as vibration. Now concentrated point load, different types of loads are there, so that we'll discuss now. So concentrated point load is nothing but a load acting at a point on a beam is known as a point load or concentrated load. Concentrated or point load, nothing but a load acting at a point on a beam is known as a point or concentrated load. Okay, uniformly distributed load, a load which is spread over a beam in such a manner that each unit length is loaded to the same extent is known as UDL. Each unit length, same load is extended, that is called as UDL or uniformly distributed load. Next one is uniformly varying load, a load which is spread over a beam in such a manner that its extent varies uniformly on each unit length is known as uniformly varying load. So uniformly varying from beginning to ending, that is called as uniformly varying load. Now deflections of different beams with different loading. So now deflections will discuss. So because these are important for vibrations topic, so now we'll discuss this topic. So types of load: cantilever, simply supported beam, both ends fixed beam. These are the different beams are there: cantilever beam, simply supported beam, both ends fixed beams. Now different loads are we are taking in the column wise. First one is single concentrated load. So for this cantilever, WL cubed by 3 EI. Okay, whereas simply supported beam, W into A square B square by 3 EIL. So for both ends fixed beam, W into A cubed B cubed by 3 EIL. So this is the formulas for deflection at point loads. Okay, now UDL is for cantilever WL power 4 by 8 EI. For simply supported beam, 5 by 384 WL power 4 by EI. Okay, or 5 WL power 4 by 384 EI. So next one is for both ends fixed beam, WL power 4 by 384 EI. So this is UDL. Next coming to the central load. So generally cantilever no central load. So for simply supported beam, WL cubed by 48 EI, whereas both ends fixed beam, WL cubed by 192 EI. So these are the deflections of different beams of with different loading. The next one is theory of machines topic, already discussed in the kinematics. So once again I am discussing. So study of relative motion between the various parts of a machine and forces which act on them. So that is theory of machine, nothing but it is study of relative motion between the various parts of a machine and forces which act on them. So relative motion and as well as forces act on them. That is called as theory of missions. So this theory of missions may be divided into two types. So two parts. One is kinematics of machinery. Second one is dynamics of machinery. The kinematics of machinery already studied in second BTech. Now we are going to discuss about dynamics of machinery. Now in this first machine, what is machine? So machine nothing but it receives energy in some available form and utilizes it to do some particular type of work. So by receiving some available energy and doing some useful work, so that is called as device is called as a machine. Okay, or it is a combination of mechanisms or mechanism or combination of mechanisms which imparts definite motion to the parts, also transmits and modifies some available mechanical energy into desired work. Okay, it transmits some available energy, okay, into desired work. Okay, this is called as machine. Next one is mechanism. Mechanism is a combination of number of bodies assembled in such a way that the motion of one causes constrained and predictable motion to the other. So any number of bodies are assembled so such that one body is causes to the motion to the other motion, predicting, okay, constrained and predictable motion to the other. That is called as a mechanism. Simple example is a watch is a one of the mechanism, mechanical watch, not electronic. Okay, now one of the example. So now what's mechanism? Already you are studied in kinematics. So that are called as mechanisms. Now next one is classification of theory of machines, already discussed. Anyhow, once again, this is kinematics, deals with the relative motion between the various parts of the machines. So that already studied. So only relative motion between the various parts of the machines, that is called as kinematics. Next one is dynamics. It deals with the forces and their effects while acting upon the machine parts in motion. So dynamics deals with the forces and their effects while acting upon the machine parts in motion. Now kinetics, it deals with the inertia forces which arise from the combined effect of the mass and motion of the machine parts. Kinetics nothing but deals with the inertia of forces which arise from the combined effect of the mass and motion of the machine parts. Statics, it deals with the forces and their effects while the machine parts are at rest. Deals with the forces and their effects while the machine parts are at rest. That is called as statics. Next one is applications of the subject. So these are where it will be useful, this subject. To know the effect of friction on various machine parts like clutches, brakes and dynamometers, how the friction is working. Okay, the applications of friction, where various components like clutches, brakes and dynamometers we can learn from this. And we can design the flywheel by understanding the turning moment diagrams, and we can know the stability of various vehicles like ships, automobiles, aeroplanes, understanding the effect of gyroscopic couple. Okay, by understanding the effect of gyroscopic couple, we can stabilize the, okay, ships, automobiles, aeroplanes like this. And now design the governors by understanding the controlling forces. Okay, we can design or can understand the working of governors. Now reduce the vibrations of machine parts by balancing of the various machine members. Okay, we can reduce the vibrations by balancing the various machine members which are having unbalanced process. So this complete the prerequisite for the subject. Next class, next video, we are going to start first unit, friction. Thank you.